What's up, y'all? It's your boy Butter, and I come to talk about a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Raw on Netflix. Y'all see the title, and I'm gonna just jump straight into it. It started off with the little package in the beginning, and let me say the Intuit Dome is ridiculous. I see some Clippers games, but the Clippers games don't do it justice like the WWE was able to. Just the larger than life, the pyro, the production was ridiculous. And the intro package was cool. You got to see things through all the different times, all the different eras. Then you got Triple H, and I'm ready. I'm always ready. Triple H out there, man. That's my favorite of all time. So I'm excited about everything every time I get a chance to see H. So I might be a little bit biased in that regard, and I don't care. I'm going to keep it a little bit real though. So that was just beautiful to see, and just to think about now Raw is on Netflix, and it set the stage that this was going to be more of a ceremonial, like they're putting their main feuds and things like that. They're really putting that on the pedestal, so to speak, to show the world, like, look at this, look what this can be at its best. More so than it was a show that they were gonna have a lot of stuff happening here, there, just a lot of little things, like some of the other shows where you will see just like a constant theme of, oh, this person's in the back doing this, or these people are setting up a beef over here, or they got the comedy act come out. They spent a lot more of that extra time showcasing uh, celebrities, Netflix affiliates in the crowd, and just the showing their roster off. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill sitting next to X Pac and Shinsuke Nakamura. Then you got I do believe I seen Brian Breaker out there, and like then you're gonna show Macaulay Culkin and which the fans love Macaulay. Um, and then they're moving on. Oh, now EO's out there. Now there you go, Lyra. And the LA Knight. And they give you the opportunity to see the War Raiders and things like that. And they was also jumping back in the backstage from time to time so you can see Carmelo Hayes sitting in the middle of the camera. Maxine Dupree slapping high fives. The New Day on the wall. They mad. Like, they used a lot of the time to kind of be more of a highlight and a celebration for all of what it is, what it was, and what it could be moving forward, as they were live everywhere at one time. First time ever for Raw to be live everywhere at one time. And then Triple H will go on to say in a Paul Levesque will go on to say in the post show that you don't expect that everybody, different time zones, some people are sleeping, some people got work, whatever, that everybody has sat down and watched at the same time. But the fact that that is a possibility is amazing. And when you look at the 24-hour lifespan of that, what's that first day like, when people get a chance to get off of work or wake up and run right to it because it's available. How many people are gonna actually watch Raw? And they're setting the precedent, so we can see about what's to expect from that first week, and then to see what happens in the second week, and to see how things progress. I was excited about it. I already was. If you smell, before the lights went out and the music dropped, of course the Rock's gonna come out first. They swinging for the fences because some people attention span is only 15 minutes, 30 minutes, the first hour, and they're moving on. So you trying to hit that grand slam right out the park. Like, you not playing around with it. You trying to start the show with three guys on base so you can get a grand slam with the first swing. So of course, The Rock came out, and this is what some people was upset because The Rock, it was Dwayne Johnson more so than he wasn't the final boss, and that's what a lot of people wanted to see. Is like, oh, rest in peace to Heel Rock, but I think that's temporary. This is the WWE. This is wrestling, man. This is sports entertainment, my man. So it's like nothing is ever really permanent. With John Cena said, "Never say never," or was that Punk said, "Never say never"? I think they both said it at some point. You don't say never in this business, is what they like to say, because things are always in the air. Like Sami Zayn was saying that about the Uso situation, that story with the bloodline, and it's there. So I wouldn't say it's completely put to bed, but it's definitely not the focus at this point. It's at this point in time, which I'm not mad at it. I mean, look at the roster, look at the storylines and stuff. Look at what's going on. They don't need The Rock to come back and explain to us what he put in Cody's hand, although we would love to know something about that. We don't need The Rock to form a new bloodline and attack Roman, although that could still happen. Because that's the big one, right? I don't think that last time we seen The Rock at WrestleMania in that tag match, I don't think that's the last time we see The Rock in ring. He's still in phenomenal shape. So I think that's the big one, Roman versus Rock. That's what he came back to do in the first place. And then they pivoted to all the final boss stuff and whooping Cody to blood, and Mama Rhodes and all. We weren't supposed to get none of that. That was a pivot. So you never say never. But ultimately, I enjoy it. Rock come out there. We love the Rock. It's fun. It's cool to hate on him, the booing, but we love to love the Rock. To say his catchphrases, if you smell and all this. The LA was on fire, man. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't hear the crowd erupting all show long about what they liked and what they didn't like, we'll get to that in a little bit. I don't know, man. You need to get your money back. You need to get your speakers checked on, man. You need to get something else going on in your crib, because they was rocking. No pun. Then you got Tribal Combat, which was, again, they coming out swinging for the fences. That was basically like main event status. That's why it was like, this is like a WrestleMania, because we got the special attractions coming out. We got house full of celebrities. We got limited commercial interruption, and we have the big ones. We have main event caliber matches all throughout. You know what I mean? And feuds were ending. This was the end of a portion of. This was the end of a book. Like another book might come out, another movie might come out, but the credits rolled tonight on the Ulafala, who's the true tribal chief. Not to say bloodlines won't still go against bloodlines and all this, but in terms of who's the true tribal chief, this is the only tribal chief. That's Roman Reigns. And that was obviously where this was going to go. It was never going to be a situation where Solo Sikoa was the real tribe. That was never going to happen. You know, so I see a lot of people, not even a lot of people, but you know, there's the people that, wrestling's predictable. I named all of what's gonna happen. Of course, this one's gonna win all the faces. But we know for sure Roman was gonna ultimately get the Ulafala. He was gonna win that match before it was even booked. We knew that. The fact that Solo was even put in the light where he can look powerful and strong and is a worthy competitor throughout this last month, year. I mean, that was just a testament to them building the character. Roman doing the job. Roman laying in the middle, getting pinned by Solo. You know, Cody out there going to have to pull everything out the arsenal to be Solo. And then how strong the bloodline is. His bloodline is. So I thought they did everything to make Solo look strong, but he was never going to win that match against Roman Reigns. And I like Roman. I like the match. I like Roman's style. I like that he's more methodical. He come out there and he not all making faces and talking at the crowd. He in his space. He in his zone. Throw his one up. You know what I'm saying? And he has a very ground-based game. Not that he doesn't have a little dive in his arsenal, but more of the rest of the roster has more of a fast pace, engaging. He has more of a, I'm gonna lay down and nurse this arm. Oh, my hip hurts, my leg. Then he might pop something back into place. Like he might just be laid out in the middle after he just got hit with a big time move, and then all of a sudden, oh, it's like he muster up the adrenaline to make that push, and then he goes back to being exhausted. I love the way he tells his stories. I think that is unique to him. And if the whole roster was doing that, it would be boring. But the fact that the majority of the roster aren't doing that and he's doing it, it makes him a special attraction. Just like the fact that he only wrestles every so often. He only shows up every so often. It feels like a treat every time we get to see him. Who else gets to move that slow and methodically and just have the people engaged like that? Nobody. It's Taker like. You know what I mean? Like that's it don't happen. I loved it. You got the stare down between him and Jacob. Sammy music got the hit. People got a chance to get excited about that. Thought Solo did a good job. Oh, it's over for your punk. Yeah, none. Like I thought Solo got a chance to do his good job. He crawling across the ring for the pin, and he getting up staggering before he hit the spike. I thought Solo did a good job. I see Solo growing. People are more familiar with him. Thought that was a good job. Like I said, celebrities galore. Celebrities galore. Oh, and The Rock presented him with the Ulaf. Put it on his neck. You know, it is like you got that from the high chief. You got that. You the tribal chief. You him from The Rock. But that was his moment. But like I said, I'm not writing off that they still won't get it on. Like it still won't be something. But just in that moment, it's your turn. It's your time now. You the one. You got Rock in the building. The chance to you the one. That puts more eyes on Roman. Because where Rock goes, eyes go. But more eyes on Roman. Roman's the guy. For the time, loved it. I thought it was perfectly executed. And then Cena comes out. Of course, they just hit. And what I liked about how they do it is, as predictable as some things are, how they announce, oh, this person's gonna be there, that person's gonna be there, and we want those. What's the word I'm looking for? We want those surprises. The way they did it, they just lull you to sleep just long enough to forget that when that Cena music hit, it's still going, oh, Cena coming. Like, you're not predicting that it's coming at that particular point in time. You just kind of immersed into the show, and then horns hit, and it's like, oh, there goes Cena. And then Cena comes out, and he's still the best at what he do. The way he can sell a story, he can mold himself as this sympathy guy who hasn't won a singles match in 6 years, which is crazy. And how he can't do it, and the Royal Rumble is so big, and being a champion is so big, and you can't just come back and cut the line. But he has this opportunity. If he can just win this lottery ticket, maybe, just maybe. And then he finishes with a assertive, I will, because I overcome odds. Just as extreme and insurmountable of a task it is, I will do it because that's what I do. And you believe it. He just bring it all together. Nobody can see the man. Nobody can, on that, being that, nobody can touch Cena, man. Nobody can touch Cena at that. Then you got Logan Paul piece where he's like, I'm not part-time. I'm taking this full-time. WWE superstar. That's what it is. So WWE superstar Logan Paul. And I'm excited about that because obviously he put on strong matches. Obviously he has this popularity around the world outside of the sport. So when you get him as a chance to be a mainstay, I'm excited to see what that means. How often does he win? Is he around the title? How often does he lose? How often does he show up? I'm excited to see what that's like because I think he got a good space. Like, look what The Miz was able to do. So I think he comes from a good foundation of, I have athleticism, I have that charismatic appeal, and I have a love for this space, this sport. And he can really wrestle. You know what I mean? So I think that is great. Really good athlete. I think that's great. And we got Rhea versus Liv, which finally the feud ends. We was all ready for it to end. Not that it was terrible. I think it was just to the point where it was like it's going on for however long it's going on for. You know what I mean? And it got to the point where we know Rhea's gonna go over at the end of this. But I like that it's spaced out long enough for Liv to really look like a worthy champion. Because if Rhea would have just came back and smashed it, it was like, yeah, she just held that title placeholder. But the fact that she really gave Rhea a run for her money, I thought really pretty much solidified Liv. How she was able to do stuff away from the ring at different showings and really and carry that title and carry the WWE. And she really is like, oh, Liv's a main star. Like, she's a big time player. Like, she's serious. But of course, Rhea got to win. She can't run off with her title, with her boyfriend, break her shoulder, bust her face, beat her at this match, beat her in this situation, and then all this going on, and then she walks away as the ultimate victor. No, that was her. That was her moment. Crown Jewel champ. Like, that was her moment, and I was like, okay, and this is Rhea turn, and they saved it for Netflix. They saved it for a moment. Which I'm glad it didn't go all the way to WrestleMania, because I mean they did everything they could do with that feud. She got a chance to rip Riptide, Dom, kick him in his, don't kick him in the balls. I thought that was awesome. Undertaker comes back. And it was funny because I seen somebody in the comments was like, "Oh, they need this Undertaker to come now," and Undertaker did come. That was cool. Then I also seen on social after the fact that outside they kind of exposed it and spoiled that the Undertaker was there. People seen him on the bike before his music hit. I'm locked into the show, so I didn't see that until today. Last night, I was watching the show. So I was like, oh. Which is cool, because she got that dark energy, and she was rolling with Dom. Now, she moving on to something different, and you get to see you have a shot of her next to somebody that you respect, admire, revere, rather than next to a dweeb, cornball type of guy that, and Dom. No disrespect to the man, but that's his character. You know what I mean? I thought it worked. I agree. I see Eric Bischoff say the people kind of wanted to give Undertaker more, but the fact that he never got off the bike, he just did a lap and left out, it never gave the audience a chance to really sink into the admiration of the Undertaker, and that was credible. But then we seen Bailey in the back with Nick Aldis. I do believe that's Nick, the one on Raw. I be getting him and the other cat confused on SmackDown. But I'm pretty sure that's Nick Aldis. Bailey in the back, so Bailey's gonna be on Raw. Gable showed up, which I was waiting for Gable. I'm a big Gable guy, so I was waiting for Gable. I was happy that he got a chance to get a little segment. Set him up with Pentagon next week, talking about how he gonna get on these luchas. I thought that was a good idea to save us something, tease us something for the next show. And they gonna have a good match. Gable don't do nothing but have good matches. So they gonna have a good match. And Gable gonna eat the pin. That's what Gable do. He make other people look good. So that's exciting. Give us something to look forward to on the next show. And you had Travis Scott out there smoking a J with Jay. He was out there with Jay with a J. J and a J on Raw, smoking on Raw. Dope. Literally dope. That was. I'm not a Travis guy. Like, I'm not like, oh, Travis Scott. Like, it didn't. Travis is here, but just to see that energy, that was incredible. With the drone shot, Tide was swooping down. Like I said, the production was crisp, no buffers. The audio was outstanding. You can hear what's happening there, and you really felt close. It felt like we was in there from home. That was beautiful production, which a lot of people's like, oh, Netflix, we seen how to Paul and Tyson fight, which I didn't see that. I had to go see my daughter perform. I went to watch my daughter play. I got to, You know what I mean? See my daughter perform, so I wasn't tripping on Paul and Tyson. And then once I heard what happened, definitely. But they rocked it. They knocked it out the park. They exceeded expectations for anybody who thought it was gonna be some missteps. Not a one. And that was just beautiful. Pat McAfee back. We all love Pat. Cole, one of the GOATs. If not JR, then it's him. You know what I mean? And they all on the table getting it eat on. Just an incredible moment, like it usually is, but that was a really good one. And the match between him and Drew it did what it's supposed to. It wasn't the greatest match of all time, but it did what it's supposed to. It gave us our moments to see him go through their move sets, see him on TV. And Drew was in incredible shape. He's usually in incredible shape, but he was looking a little tighter. Drew was in incredible shape. And Jay got a chance to get the win. In the middle. He did a little sneaky, but I mean, it's still a dub. It's still a clean dub. So you gotta enjoy that, because it's believable that Jay's gonna have a solid singles run, which he had a really good singles run last year, but a little bit more serious, a little bit more to the top. And in the post show, he was out there at the table with Wade, Biggie, and Joe Tessitore, and he was in his bag. I thought Joe was stepping on his opportunities. They was setting him up there, and he was building it. He was trying to get somewhere with his, and Joe kind of kept on stepping on his punchlines. I was a little upset about that. Like, man, let Jay cook. That's how we got Yeet to begin with. In the post-show pressers, and Jay just up there being himself. Let Jay cook. But you can't complain about that, man. We got what we needed. Then we got a Gunther vignette. It's always good to see Gunther, hype him up. You know he gonna be on the next show. Wasn't his time to be on this one, cause he ain't really in the middle of no big feuds or anything. But next one, it's coming. He got the New Day. They got played by Topanga. They was up there talking about Kendrick Lamar in L.A. They playing their heel. Kofi ain't got no mustache. He out there looking real grizzly with it. And we excited to see the New Day. You know, see them get a segment. People get a chance to boo them. And we really want to see this progress, because right now they're the most hated. They got the most heat in the business right now. Love to see it. What else we had? Then Roman, he gonna have his ceremonial. He the tribal chief. He booked his date. I think it was a couple of weeks out. I don't remember what he said, 16, 17, what up, 21st. I don't know exactly what that date is, but so that's 2 Mondays away. Not the next Monday, but the Monday after. And as well as 2K25, which 2K24 was amazing. It's hard to get consecutive sports games to really be, because they bring an iteration that, ooh, that worked, and then when the next one come out, something might not be there that might not be much of a step forward. So I don't know if 25 is gonna be as good as 24, but hey, you're gonna get an updated roster and all that. So I'm excited about it all the time. I'm a video gamer, so anytime I get a chance to get excited about video games, I'm with it. And then then Hulk got booed out the building, which, again, I know how to separate my personal life, like preferences, my feelings, from art, and to be able to say, well, this is a good idea, this is a creative piece, this is your success, you did what you did, I won't take that from you, and I don't really like this person, you know what I mean? And Hulk is in a strange spot, because not only did he do multiple things to expose him as a racist, he's also done multiple things to expose him as maybe a bit of a liar. How he exaggerates and says he's places that all other accounts say he wasn't. And a lot of people just don't feel like he's really that great of a person. But then he went and stood tall, the MAGA powers, with Donald Trump, and we know how we feel about that. Even people who voted a certain way, looking back in retrospect, we know how we feel about that. In California, you're asking for it. You're asking to be booed. I'd have booed him. And if you asked me to make a top 10 list Hulk's got to be on the top 10 list. It wouldn't be the Stone Colds and the John Cena's and the Roman Reigns. He was the one initially. You got to respect that, but the other stuff that comes with it, nah, I'd booed him. I was happy he got booed. Because when I first heard his music, I'm like, they gonna bring Hulk out here. Then I see the flag waving, and I'm feeling like, I'm feeling a little slapped in the face. And then when they start booing him, I'm like, okay. Okay. I feel a little bit better about it now. And then Seth Rollins' music hit. And me and Pat had the same reaction. So here we go. Here we go. Now we talking. Now this is what we came for. And to see that match, and I'm about to hit 29 minutes in my camera. I got a Canon, so I'm already expecting that. But I was, come on, man. Seth Rollins versus Punk. This what we want. This was the big one. This is what we wanted for how long? 10, 12 years in the making. Which is crazy that Punk went over and Rollins didn't, because Rollins stayed true to WWE. And his loyalty wasn't rewarded. But if Rollins would have won, it would have been, oh, of course, because he's a kiss up, because he's and he lost, and now it's like, oh, no. This is one of them divisive, polarizing moments where a good chunk of the people feel this way and a good chunk of the people feel that way. Almost nobody feels no way about it. If you pay attention to this, you picking a side, and I say more of them is on Punk's side, maybe more like a 60-40, 65-35. It's more Punk favor, but Rollins got his section of people that's on his side. The WWE people that just feel like, nah, we standing with WWE against Punk. Like, so he still got it. It's still split. And we had it, man. They threw a few legitimate shots towards each other. They got a little rough. They didn't go all the way. They didn't bust each other's skulls open too much. Seth dropped a little blood, but they threw a couple of shots. You know what I mean? They got a little physical, and I'm sure that was something that they probably even talked about in the back. Like, yeah, make it look good. Make this one look good. It was a big one. And that's stuff that you get at WrestleMania type feels. That's why it was like it's a WrestleMania type event. And they stealing finishes. We got 2 GTSs from Rollins and a curb stump from Punk. We got the announce desk, which the announce desk look fire. I like the announce desk. I like how it sets off, the coloring, and we got the pedigree on it, which wasn't the greatest pedigree you've ever seen, but it got the job done. Then he got another pedigree off in the ring. He got the Mark Henry spot, the John Cena, the I'ma catch you off the turnbuckle, roll you around. Then he went to GTS off of that? Come on, man. He got the buckle bomb off. He got the suplex into the other suplex from the ropes to the ground. I forget what they call it, some kind of phoenix or something. Like, I forget exactly what it's called. Seth really showed out, man. Some people say Seth carried. And I ain't going to say that Punk didn't do his job, because Punk's great. Of course, Punk's great. But Seth did have a great showing, man. And if there's ever any doubt that Seth can give you an amazing match, you got to put that one to the side, because Seth knocks it out the park. But ultimately, Punk got the clean dub in the middle. And I'm not mad at it, because it's an opportunity, I think now the writing's on the wall for a more serious, angered Seth to come back. And he trying to chase that. Punk's already that. Punk's already great. Punk's already, and I said trying to chase that. And I think by the end of the feud, you'll see that it's Seth going over it. Whether they do it 2 times, 3 times, whether it's 4 months, 5 months. I think ultimately when they're walking away, Seth gets that last pin. Seth gets that moment. No, it's like, okay, I've arrived. I beat Punk. I got this monkey off my back. I'm being taken more seriously, and I'm here for the future. And I also love the Punk interview after the match. That was my favorite part of the show. Punk hit with that post-fight interview. It was amazing. And let me reset my camera before I keep on. I really intended this to be inside of 30 minutes, but hey, man, I can yap. You see the name. That was an amazing post. I like that he was like 46 is just a number. You know, he was like, man, I forget exactly I missed the clutch. I missed the October. I knock us out the park. When with game 7, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna get the W. I'm leaving with the championship. And really selling that I'm here to be taken seriously. I'm here. Like I'm not no part timer, no legacy act. You don't have to be sympathetic towards me. I'm gonna show you that I can hang. I'm coming for it all. I want the title. I want the main event. I want everything. Who you got? Roman, Cody? Who got the what? I'm calling them all out. Cena, let's go. I'm going to Royal Rumble. I'm gonna win. You know what I mean? I thought that was the best moment of the night. Maybe Cena, because Cena did have an amazing one too. But I kind of expected Cena to hit that home run there. I didn't expect a post fight interview. I was satisfied with the Punk match. And to get that, it's like, now that's Punk at his best. Punk in the ring at 46 is cool. Punk on that microphone, that's Punk at his best. That's all-time great CM Punk when you get a chance to do that. And that made me okay with Seth losing, which is crazy because I'm a Seth guy. That's my number one favorite over the course of the last 10 years. Like that, I'm a Seth guy. You know what I mean? So for me to not even be tripping on that, like I was excited for Punk. You know he did a good job. And that's the show. In terms of the advertisements on the mat, I ain't mad at it. I like that it give it that UFC boxing. I'm a boxing guy as well, so I'm used to seeing the promotions on the mat and on patched on, and they'd have been warming us up to this. They already had Prime in the middle. They already have special matches. Like I remember the first one for me that really caught my eye was when the Fiend went against LA Knight. And what was it? Some kind of Mountain Dew. And it was like blacked out and glowing. And but they do this all the time. It's like it's a video game. It's a whiskey. It's Wheatley. It's gin and juice. Or it's a chip or a movie. It's Gladiator 2. And that's the theme around the entire match. So that it's all on the barricades. It's all on the side, the ring, up the ring post. I mean, we'd have been warmed up to the idea that they selling. They selling ad space here. They making their money here. So the patches in the ring, I ain't mad at it. The ring was a little smaller, so you felt more of that larger than life feel. More fans got a chance, more seats, more fans got a chance to be in there. I thought it was great. The lighting, the setup, the audio. I thought the production was 10 for 10. And I like the change in pace. The black mat, I like the change in pace. Like, stamp it. It's a new era. Like Paul said, man, it's the Netflix era, because he really don't like the Paul Levesque era. They try to call it the Paul Levesque era. He like, no, stop putting that on me. That's the Netflix era. And I also heard some people saying in like Australia somewhere they're gonna do SmackDown and NXT on Netflix as well. Wonder how that works. How I guess because they don't have the deals in place with USA, Fox or whatever. But I wonder how that'll play out. That they'll be watching Netflix for all of the programming instead of just Raw. But yeah, man, that was my takeaway. I loved it. I loved it very, very much. Let me glance down at my list and make sure I hit all my points. Yeah, man. That was it. And I did note that Rhea got a little bit emotional in her presser when she was talking about, she was recapping it and talking about how she done with Judgment Day, because yeah, she did get on the map doing the Judgment Day when she was with him, and then she broke from him, and now that that's in her past, she going forward doing her new thing, and whatever that's gonna be, it's been 2-3 years. It's been a while, man. So she did get a little emotional. That was cool to see. Roman was up there doing being the cool guy that he usually is. Paul got an opportunity to talk about how he should get an Emmy, how he was carrying it when they were striking and all this stuff, and you couldn't get no entertainment. The COVID times, and Roman was carrying. He was like, I need one. Paul Levesque need one. We all need an Emmy for what we done. Gotta love it, man. But that was my takeaway. I think I had all the points. You know, in terms of just the overall feel, I'm seeing mixed reactions because I feel like that general, like more of a casual, like the ones that ain't really outspoken and judgmental, like they don't critique a lot. They just kind of take what they get and respond to it. I thought that initial burst was very excited, very happy, very satisfied with the product. But then once the boo birds start to come out, once the criticizers start to come out, you did see more people pointing at flaws, which, you know, some of it is valid. I mean, it's never a perfect show. You always can do something that you didn't do. You can't put all the talent on. You gotta save some for later. So I don't think that it was just ill-willed, ill-spirited. Now, of course, there's some trolls and there's some people who just, it was never gonna be good enough. But in terms of just being upset that maybe they didn't have a couple more matches, maybe there wasn't another surprise, a big turn, like where you go look back at this and be like, oh, that's when that thing happened. I could see how you would want more in that regard. It was just a lot of selling, it was very ceremonial, a lot of nostalgia, and I thought that turned out to be perfect. I had no problems with it. I was all in. I was attached to it, and that leaves open doors for the next show to showcase a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to Royal Rumble. I'm looking forward to the next episode of Raw. I'm looking forward to the next episode of SmackDown. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. We got to see Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. You know, they're going to continue what they do. RKO coming back at some point. Tiffy, you know, in her reign. As well as next week, we're going to get Lyra and Dakota for the inaugural Intercontinental Championship for the women. That's going to be big time. We're going to get Priest and Balor again. That's going to be big time. It's some kind of hardcore rules. It's some kind of no holds barred match. We're going to get Penta debut with Gable. That's confirmed. You know, the New Day going to do something. We might get a YS6 showing. Gunther going to be out there. We know Gunther coming. They're not just going to never show the champion. So I'm excited to see next Raw. Love the character graphics, the match graphics. Love that. What can you say? They breaking records. They hot. They doing things that they ain't never done before. They got people tuning back in who ain't been tuned in years. Hey, this is a far cry of a much better world, much different than where we were at in maybe a 2010, 12, maybe a 2008. Like, you know, and that there was a weird segment of time there when people felt like, man, it's watered down. All the people that we love are leaving, getting hurt, doing movies. And, you know, we didn't have that attachment to the newer guys. But now with the NXT and all, we get a chance to be excited about the development of the characters. And now all of the top characters are characters that was developed in NXT. And now we got a whole nother crop of them in NXT about to push over with more in line to come. But so it just really got a great continuity. You know, they've been doing this at a high level for 40 years plus. So you got fans that are grandparents and their kids like it, and then their kids like it. Generational, man. I ain't mad at it. Not to be a WWE apologist, not to say they're without flaw. I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at Triple H booking. I ain't mad at the slow burn. I ain't mad at it. I I got my money's worth. I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward. Pieces to y'all. What they say, deuces, ooses. To y'all, man. Let me know how y'all feel about it. I love discourse. I love a good perspective. You know what I mean? I'm not interested in getting to no fights. I just like a good debate. I like a good, what about this? Oh, that's interesting. So light it up if you feel. I'm up out of here.